Hello and welcome, and I'm so happy that we get to share this time together today. Now, our lesson that we will be talking about is how God gives us do-overs. And that means when we do something wrong, He gives us a chance to try again. Now, the Bible talks about a long time ago that a lot of people were making very bad choices and that God was very, very sad. But he decided to give people a big do-over, and he gave them a chance to make good choices after they made bad choices. So since we are talking about do-overs today, I want you to take a few moments to think about something that was so fun and that you really loved, and how you would love to have an opportunity to have a do-over and do that fun thing again. So just take a few moments and think about that. I know I can think of a lot of fun things that I would like to be able to do over, like my artwork or get to go to the park and spend time with my family. So think about those things. And then, and after Sunday school today, then you can talk with your family and talk about all the fun things that you would like to do over and how you would like to spend that time with them. So, as we're moving along, here's what we're going to do next. So, as we would be sitting at our desk and we'd be getting ready to open our Bibles. So I prepared this nice big poster board behind us today. So I printed out our verse. So it's right up here, and I'm going to be reading that with you today. So, when we think about do-overs, one of those ways that we can think of do-overs is God's special book, the Bible. And this is one way that God talks to us and that we can spend our time talking to Him and spending those moments with Him in special time. So God is here and He is always so ready to talk to you. And at this time, just think in your heart and thank God that He loves us so much that He gives us the opportunity when we make mistakes, that He gives us do-overs to make things right. So as we move forward, we're going to talk about our verse today, and it comes from the book of Genesis. It's chapter 6, verses 9 through 17, and it's talking about Noah and his family and how God was preparing him for what was about to happen. And as we talked a few minutes ago, we were talking about how at this time He was sad because people were making really bad choices. So I'm going to read the verse to you now. And so if you would look up at the board with me, I'm going to go ahead and read it for you. And so, like I said, this is the history of Noah's family. And so we know the Bible tells us that Noah was a wonderful man. He was a man of God, and that he was a faithful man, and that he followed God's law, and he loved God so much. So now Noah, we know from the story that he had 3 sons, and his 3 sons' names were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now, when God was looking at the earth at this time, He saw that people had ruined it. They had polluted it and done things that they shouldn't, and that there was violence, and it made God's heart really sad. They had ruined the earth. So He spoke to Noah, and He said, Noah, everyone has filled this earth with anger and hate. So God said that He was going to make a new start. And basically what we're talking about, a do-over. And He said, so I'm going to remove them from the earth, all living things. So He gave Noah some very specific instructions. And He said, what you're going to need to do is you're going to have to take cypress wood, and I want you to build a big boat by yourself, and for your family. And he said, you need to make rooms in the boat and cover them with tar inside and out. And this is going to have to be a really big boat because it's going to have to hold all the animals. So you're going to have to make the boat, Noah, 30 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. That was very large. And make a window for the boat about 1 cubit below from the roof and put a door on the side. Make 3 floors on this boat. Put a top deck, a middle deck, and a lower deck. And Noah, you must understand what I'm telling you. I will bring a great flood to the earth, and it will destroy all living things under heaven. Because God was making anew. That's what he was talking about. So now we're going to continue what we're learning about how we can do do-overs. So I'm going to show you something really quick before we start our project. And I want to show you how things that you may think are just not necessarily maybe trash or garbage, we're going to make something beautiful out of that. So as you can see, there's a bottle. What a mess this table is. But we're going to make something beautiful out of it today and with our project. So first, I'm going to put my apron on so I don't get paint all over me. And I know you're probably asking to yourself right now, how are we going to take this fork and this bottle and this cup and this cap? How are we going to take this? Because this looks like garbage. How are we going to take this and make it into something beautiful and do a redo? Well, I'm going to show you. So if we look up at my board, right here, I have, you can use cardboard or any paper, and then we're going to need a string, and we're going to take and make something beautiful with all of what I just showed you. And we're going to have a do-over. So let's get started really quick. So I have my paint palette right here, and I do have a brush. I have a brush, and so we're going to take these things, and I know you're wondering, what? How are we going to take these things? So here's what we're going to do. I've got this bottle, and I've picked colors of the rainbow. So we have some purple, some red, some green, some yellow, and some white. And we're going to take these colors and we're going to use these items and we're going to make this picture and we're going to make something very beautiful. So we're going to take some purple, and I've got my palette in this. And so what we're going to do is we're going to paint. If you watch, I'm going to paint the bottom of this. And so I'm going to go up to the picture. I'm going to take the paint, look at that, and we're going to do a design. And you know what I think would be really pretty? We're going to make a flower. How about that? So we'll make the flowers. And let's get some more purple. And we're going to just paint the bottom of this. Right here, we got another purple flower. I don't know, maybe we ought to make a yellow. What do you think? Now, you could make anything that you wanted out of your picture. About like that. Get some flowers. All right. We got some green, and we'll make some stems. How about that? Make some lovely stems. Let me move it in just a little bit more. So we have a fork. We could make some neat designs with the fork. So how about we do this? Let's see. We've got lots of beautiful colors. You can take some pink. And we're going to take our fork and put it in the paint. So you can see how I've got paint on the fork. And look, we can put it on the flowers. And you don't have to do flowers. You can do any kind of design you want. This is all about creativity and making something pretty. Yeah, or let's see, or you can do some other designs. So we have a cup. This time we have a cup. And so we can take pink and some purple. And we can also roll it and do some designs. There's all kinds of possibilities when you're doing your picture. And just like the grass, we've got green. We've got a piece of paper here. It's kind of all scrunched up. And it looks like it's just trash. But we can use this to paint as well. And we can make grass at the bottom. And let's see, we have a circle. We can do yellow and make the sun. And just put the paint, just like this, on the circle. Actually, it's an old lid that we threw away. And you could put the sun up at the top. So you can make all kinds just out of trash. We made something beautiful out of trash. And let's see, let's make the centers. So I'm putting paint on the cup. Put those in the center. Let's see. I've got so many pretty colors. And I do have a brush. We can make a smiley face on the sun. Just like that. And bright colors. You can make any design you like. And then once we get done with our picture, we can just take our string, tie the ends. Of course, once it dries. And there you have, I know it's really quick, you have a beautiful picture that you took, things that we thought we couldn't use, and you made a beautiful picture out of them. things that you were just going to throw away, and you use them to paint a beautiful picture. So, in light of that, I think it's a wonderful way that we can show our creativity, and we can make something, a beautiful gift for someone. And I'm glad that we had the opportunity to do that together. So in closing, thinking about what we learned today, and thinking about Noah's family and do-overs, and that God blessed their family and gave them the opportunity for a do-over because they followed God and they did what he told them to. Think of something that you did that you know was a good choice. Think of something that you did that this week that was a really good choice. And then think of something that maybe you did that wasn't a good choice. And think about what you can do to make it better. Because that's what God wants of us. God wants us to make good choices. He doesn't want us to make bad choices. Just like our parents, they want us to make good choices, and they're always there to help us make those choices, to make good choices. But though you listen to Noah's story about building the ark, God shows us how he gives us second chances, and that is the story in Noah. At the end, after all was done, after they built the ark and the earth was flooded, God made a rainbow. And that's the other thing we could have put on our picture. A beautiful rainbow. God made a rainbow to remind us that his love is always there for us. That he shines like a rainbow as a reminder. So, in closing, let's say a prayer together today. Let's bow our heads and say a prayer. So, God gives us do-overs. Every one of us. When we make bad choices, he lets us try again. God wants us to make good choices the next time. When we can ask God to help us make those choices. So remember, keep God in your heart and know that he's always there for us and that he is there to help us make good choices. So during the week, keep this in mind. Remember that if you make a wrong choice, God gives us do-overs. Try your best to make good choices. And if you don't make a good choice, first, just remember that God will give you the chance to make a do-over, and that your family is there to help you always make good choices. So thank you today for spending time with me, and I hope you have a very blessed week, and I look forward to meeting with you all again in class. Be blessed.